Time to head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one deals with play calling.
Hello, guys. Got a question for you. Uh, how much do you think that uh, the analytics played with some of the play calling for the Browns this past season? Even our scheme of being tight end heavy, plays that they used Odell and some of the receivers as a decoy. How much of this is analytics? 'Cause I'm thinking that's playing a big part of some of Kevin's decision making. And unfortunately, analytics did not seem to stack up against some of the unforeseens that came up this past season. So I'd like to see you guys, hear you guys' feedback on that. Thank you.
Tim, I think it's a fair question. I think the Browns rely on analytics, but analytics just means what do you do in down and, in this instance, what plays are successful in down and distance, those kind of things. I think when you get into the three tight end question, I think they ran that a lot this year because, quite honestly, the wide receivers didn't do what they thought they were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, like what you said right there about that three tight end example. I mean, analytics tells you that the way the Browns run those plays, maybe that's because they've had a higher rate of success on those plays, or at least from what their information tells them from different formations. I mean, analytics is just a tool. I think, it's good to see that it's really started to become less of a negative buzzword around football that, more teams are adopting. I mean, we've seen so many teams go for it on fourth down. The idea of if you get an offside on an extra point, then all of a sudden you can go for two from the 1.5 yard line, the right times to kick, right times to go for it. I don't think the issue has been when they've made those decisions. I feel like the reasoning behind those decisions, when to go for it, has been sound. It just comes down to play calling and execution. Can you get the right play and can your players execute it? And I think that was kind of the bigger issue more than the decision making to avoid going to, instead of going for it on fourth down or whatever, to punt it or vice versa. It comes down to more of, can you get the job done on the field when it matters? And if you are successful, more often than not with these analytical decisions, it helps in winning football games. I think that's just kind of what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think there's an idea that some folks think Kevin Stefanski is strictly analytical driven. I think he uses all the information that he can, but sometimes he kind of relies on his football instinct and gut decisions. So I don't think, if you're asking, did analytics kind of short circuit the play calling? I think it's a little bit deeper than that. If it was just analytics, you could switch it and all would be good. I think you got to tweak the scheme. You have to improve the wide receiver position. There are a number of things that you have to do. Again, that's just my opinion.